Hello everyone, welcome to my channel where we talk about travel and languages. My name is Kristen. So I made two other videos talking about Japanese Duolingo and Spanish Duolingo specifically. If you watched both of those videos, you know that I had a very different opinion of the Japanese Duolingo as compared to the Spanish Duolingo. And really the heart of that is that they're very different languages. They are entirely different language groups. They have different writing systems and different grammar, just everything. Everything's different. First of all, I don't hate Duolingo. I think that it's pretty good when you're trying to learn a language that is close to your native language because you don't need a whole bunch of explanation then. It's nice, but you don't need it. Whereas a language like Japanese, which is very different from English, needs a lot more explanation. Otherwise, what you're seeing is just not going to make sense, no matter how many times you see it in an example sentence. The things that I think Duolingo is really good for is building a good language study habit. And that may seem small, but that is actually hugely important. If you become a language learner who has a habit of studying a language every single day, then you can build on that. You know, you can branch off to other apps or programs that are going to help you further your language goals. But if you don't have that language habit in place at all, you can't really build on that. So I actually think that that's a really great thing that they've done. And the main way that they do that, of course, is by their streak tracking, which, you can say it's not like true streak tracking, but it is still very helpful. Also, I like their review system because of course it is very important to go back and re-look at what you've already learned. Also, just the simple act of looking and hearing your target language every day is really important to get it to actually stay in your brain. The accessibility of it and the fact that it's free, that's really great. Making language learning something that is as easy as picking up your phone and doing a little game, I think is something that they've done really, really well. My only complaints that I have for both languages in that app is that I feel like it does kind of lack context, no matter which language you're talking about. The Spanish one a little bit less so because it does have the stories, but the Japanese one doesn't have stories. And without any context, just learning sentences on their own isn't going to really teach you how to make your own sentences or when it is appropriate to use those sentences. I personally prefer a lot more explanation when I'm learning a language, and it is lacking in both of them, but I think it's more important in Japanese. However, even for Spanish, I think that with my style of learning, I would learn faster if it was explained to me more. Other programs that I use, specifically Japanese Pod 101 and Spanish Pod 101, they do have native speakers that explain a lot of things about their language and about their culture and country, and that context I find is really important because not only is it important to learn the culture behind the language you want to learn, but also it helps to actually remember the things that they're talking about because you have more things to associate it to. You don't really have the ability to associate one sentence to anything in your life that's personal to you. So if I was going to grade the Spanish Duolingo versus the Japanese Duolingo, I think I would give the Spanish a 7 out of 10 because its style of learning through osmosis is a little bit more effective with the Spanish one, and there is more context with that one as well with the stories, and the grammar is more similar to English so that if you are an English speaker, you won't have as much trouble understanding the grammar. The Japanese one, however, I would rate as like 4 out of 10 because, first of all, when you go into it, you have to learn reading and writing, and of course, you have to do that anyway, but things like the differences between hiragana and katakana and the different readings of a kanji and how to use particles in a sentence and verb conjugation and, passive sentences and polite speaking versus non-polite speaking all need to be explained in that language to an English speaker. And Duolingo just doesn't really have that. If you're going to use the Japanese Duolingo, I would use it more as a flashcard system and rely on other programs for the actual learning. It is a really nice flashcard system though, so it's definitely not useless. Let me know in the comments if you have used either of these versions of Duolingo and what was your success with it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.